Okay, so automation and its impact of the society, we are planning to discuss this. So there is a major transition towards automated machines. We can see it in every industries. And as the days are progressing, you can see that AI, artificial intelligence, and robotics are really taking up what the humans were doing traditionally. So most of the industries, from the production industry to health sector to every sector, you can see a drastic change in the working atmosphere due to the automation which has been introduced very recently. Okay, so as far as mechanical is concerned, artificial intelligence and robotic technologies are really amazingly, it is automating major works. Today discussion is it a threat for the mechanical engineering department, or I would put it away, is it a threat for the job market? Because when you look at the workforces, basically those who have ITA holders are there, diploma holders are there, and real mechanical engineering field, is it a threat for us? So that balanced way we will discuss automation and its impact to the society and basically to the mechanical engineering. The trend today, what is the global trend today? We cannot stop it. Automation is on the go, and everybody promotes automation, automation. Globalization started in early 90s, 1990s in India, and the whole world. You have to take it. You cannot separate yourself or ourselves from the globalization. The impact of globalization that we could see is the coronavirus. It happened in one corner of the world, and the entire 156 countries got affected. That is the real case. We could see that it is globalized. We live in a globalized world. You cannot isolate ourselves, or India cannot isolate uh, themselves from the world, and they say, okay, we are going to live alone, as we say, uh, indigenize it, make in India, and we are not dependent on the world. Like that, you and I cannot say. So globalization is the trend, and we need to go towards that. And since that it is globalized, we need to be competent enough to the global community. Otherwise, we cannot sell our products, or we cannot be useful to the society as large. Because you cannot say, I'm very good at it in my village, in my society, in my state, in my district. Like that, you and I cannot say. We need to compete to the world. So the knowledge updation and other things has to be global, and it has to be competent internationally. That is very, very important. It's a digital era, as you know. What is happening in America, just like that, we will know it here. And so the communication network is so fast. It was network, the economy also. The economy is also network, not only the communication, the economy is network. And you know that if the crude oil prices vary, that will have an impact here. If one nation gets affected, that impact, the ripple effect, you can see throughout the world. So even the economy is networked, not only the communication, the economy is networked. And you know that sustainable development is another catch word the world is putting in. And you know that the environmental situations are there, and certain things if the world forum says has to be avoided, it has to be avoided. Otherwise, we cannot stand on the global market. And with all these, what I had to say, with all these constraints, with all the things which is bonding us or bounding us, we need to look for the social development. And human beings we have to consider, and we need to live socially, joyfully, and happily. A society we need to build on. So with all these things, the technological trends also we need to track. Otherwise, we all in an engineering field, we all in technological field, and we will become obsolete. Obsolete means we we were nowhere in the market. It should not go like that. So, what is the technological trend of the day? And we should be aware of it, and we should move towards that technology. Okay. So, this is having said what drives the world and where we stand, and how we cannot isolate ourselves. We need to go along with the stream. There is no way out. And in this scenario, as workers, as workers, and especially factory workers and employers, ourselves, employees, maybe a white collar, blue colored, whatever kind of job we are. And we have to look at the global scenario in the workers' perspective. And in the workers' perspective, they look for how much workers will be displaced because of the technological trend which is coming up. In our perspective, in our discussion today, we are talking about automation. Because of the automation, how much quantity of workers, how much workers are going to be displaced from their jobs, that we have to think about. What will happen to the displaced workers? As already we are seeing in this pandemic is for now almost 7 months, isn't it? Starting from March onwards, now we are into the 10th month of this year. For the 7 months, we could see so many people losing jobs. So many people work without wages, without salary. What is the future? Everybody is in question. So, what will happen to the displaced workers because of the automation? Because automation takes a huge amount of manpower, it can handle it. So, what will happen to the displaced workers? What proportion will be retrained by the employees? So, this is a very important aspect we have to look for it. Adaptability is the catchy word nowadays. Unless you and I adopt ourselves to this changing scenario because of automation and globalizations and all other things which is happening, this pandemic, unless you and I were not able to adapt to this, what I can say, it is a dynamic situation, we cannot survive, is it not? So, what proportion will be retrained because of the automations? They lose the kind of job they were doing it, and they need to be trained again to be employed in another aspect of work. So, what proportion can be retrained? And of course, how many of them will be laid off? They will lose the jobs. So, these all the other side of it. One side is inevitable. Inevitable means you cannot avoid. It is on the rampage. It is coming like a storm. Globalization and automation is coming like a storm, and you cannot stop it. So that is one side. We need to go along with the stream. Other side, the workers' perspective, we have to look after it because we live in a society. And as I said, of course, all is important is we need to be happy and joyful. So these two perspectives, let me try to put it together in this 1.5 hours lecture. So I want everyone to think in these both the lines, not only the developments, the human perspective also. We have to look for it. Technology and productivity. The technology increases the productivity, but it should not be at the expense of humans. Humans are very important. Humans are very important. And there are, of course, a lot of potential benefits are there because of the technology that we will be talking about it. And the drawbacks of automatizations. A lot of people will be back off. They'll be laid off. So that aspect also, let us see it. Okay, what is automation? Automation is an application of machines to the task once humans were doing it. What the humans were doing, now the machines takes over. That has taken place long ago. But mechanization, it is again, you can see it in small, in your village industries also. What the humans were doing it, they will introduce small machines into it. And it has become mechanized. Even the laying of bricks and other things, making of cement blocks, all those things has become mechanized. But there are human labors, and that we cannot say automation. Automation generally implies the integration of machines. So first the humans was replaced with machines, mechanizations came, and now they are trying to connect it, networking, integration of machines into a self-governing system. Human interventions, they are trying to reduce it, and they will network among themselves, and they will adjust. And that term automation was coined, of course, a long back, before our independence, I will say, by the automobile industry. That is why it came like automobile and automation. Okay, automation. Okay, that is most of the things, you know it. Automation is performing a process by means of programmed commands. Programmed, already it is programmed. So it will go one by one, and it will be combined with feedbacks. So it is one way. I would say it is not an open loop system, it's a closed loop system, because you are familiar with this control system, these languages. Open loop system, it will keep going, programmed, and it will keep going. But most of the automation will have feedbacks to ensure whether it has done the instructions has been executed properly or not. So that is all is called as automation. Okay. So very simple thing to understand the concept of closed loop system is our ironbox. That is a very simple thing. There will be a small thermostat. You can make, you can adjust the temperature, what temperature you want it for the ironbox. It will actuate the electrical resistance, and it will heat the plate, and it will sense the temperature. If the temperature is has achieved what we intended, then it will cut off. And as you start ironing, the temperature goes down, then it will sense it back, temperature is lowered, it will switch on. So that is how a simple automation or automatic iron box works. And of course, nowadays we are not talking about automatic iron boxes. And I still remember something long back, around 20 years back, whenever you go to buy an iron box, they will ask, you want a manual one or an automatic iron box? Because manual means you have to switch off once it gets heated up. Now the switch off and on will take place automatically. But in industrial setup, this control system will have so much of inputs, measuring inputs will be there, measurements will be there, so much of sensors will be there. As I said, it is only the temperature is sensed in an automatic iron box. But when it comes to the industrial process systems, there will be tens and thousands of measurements will be coming in, and that will be the feedback to decide what has to be actuated. Okay, so that is what automation. Automation is always, we have to remember the control system, basic control systems. In the basic control systems, you can see that you will be giving an input. You will be giving an input here, and input is in the sense what is the defined one, what you wanted to have it, that you will define it, programmed one, and it will check it out whether it has been there or not. And it is, if it is not there, here the checking will take place, and if there is a variations, the controller, the actuator, the actuating signals will take place, and it will get adjusted, and it will be modified. Now this output has to be checked with your input, whether it is exactly what you have intended, or whether it has been executed or not. If it is not so, the feedback elements will go, the variations will come back, that's a feedback signal. Then it will correct itself. That's the process, it will correct itself. That is what we call it as automation. Otherwise, what we have to do is we have to sense it, isn't it? Just like if you look at inflating our bike tires, car tires, what we are doing earlier, we will just inflate air into our tires, and it keeps going. And after a while, then we will take our pressure gauge and we will put it over there and check it out whether it has been to the standard values. Suppose sometimes, most of the times, the tire pressure is so high, then they will slowly release the air to the atmosphere, and they will reduce the pressure. They will keep on checking the pressure and release like that. we have to do it. Now you can see the automation systems are there in every petrol bulk. The tire inflation is just, they will plug it off and they will just be released. It will keep on adding, and simultaneously it will check it out, whether the pressure, what we have set it. If we have set it as 32 psi, and it will keep going 29, 30, 31, and once it has attained 32, then it will stop. You can see that. So this is what automation in a very simple sense. This is an example which I quoted it as an iron box, isn't it? So there will be a thermostat, because the temperature is a criteria. So that will check it out, and it will, the control signal will switch on the electricity, so that the heating element, of course, the coil, resistance coil, will get the electricity, and the sole plate where we iron it, that will get heated up, and it has to measure the temperature, the actual temperature, and it has to be compared with the reference input, what temperature you want it. Then it will give the feedback. And like that, it will get adjusted. So this is what automation in the very simplest sense. Okay, now there are modifications are coming up. One example is, which is nowadays the trend is the cruise control. It is not there in all cars, but when you buy the higher end cars and what do I say, full option cars, most of the cars, it comes with cruise control. What do you mean by cruise control? It is there in the steering itself. We can adjust. So you press the button, and the computer program watches the speedometer, and it automatically adjusts the accelerator pedal positions to keep the car's speed at the desired value. Say, for example, you are just going in a four-way. Of course, in Kerala, it is not possible because the roads are heavily traffic and a lot of cars are there. But in Pune, Bombay highway, or Chennai highways, you can see that the roads are very large, and it's a four-way. It is there. So you wanted to go at 80 kilometers per hour. You just press it 80 kilometers per hour, and the burden of pressing the accelerator pedal is released from you. You can just take your leg from the accelerator pedal, but the car will cruise in the sense that it will be held constant at 80 kilometers per hour. What a beautiful thing it is. So that control has come, because it will keep it at that temperature. But the problem is, suppose if it is going and suddenly some vehicle comes, and so far the model is, once you press the clutch pedal, or just a minute, I'll just close my window, so it is heavily raining. Okay. Yeah, fine. So suppose the movement, some cars or something comes as an obstruction. So far the control is, if you just press the brake pedal or clutch pedal, immediately that cruise button will be released, and the accelerator will be back to the neutral positions, and the vehicle will slow down. So, but that is having still there is a problem. Humans error is possible. So the technology is, they wanted to avoid that human error itself. So once some vehicle is going forward, now there are sensors are coming. So it will detect, oh, some vehicle has come. So if before you detect, the vehicle itself will detect, and it will get slowed down. So that is another which is coming up. It is already there in some of the cars. They call it as adaptive cruise control. Adapting to the situation. You can see the diagram here. If you look at this diagram, you can see here, as I put the pointer here, you can see that this car is in a cruise control, but there are two cars. This car has slowed down, so automatically it cannot travel at 80 kilometers per hour. So automatically the cruise control is released before you release it. So this is all automation is all about. How beautiful it is. It makes life very simple. It makes life very simple. Okay. So one such example, it's a very funny example. Uh, Even nowadays itself, I find it very difficult to control the two knobs will be there when you are taking shower, when you wanted to adjust the hot water and cold water. Sometimes I think now it is all in a single knob. It is coming mixer, the mixer knob, and we find it very difficult to control the mixer. Sometimes, if you completely turn to the hot water side, very hot water will flow from the shower, and you have to run away from that. Otherwise, the cold water will come. So you have to adjust the quantity of hot water and cold water in such a manner that so that the warm water is coming in the shower. So it is very difficult, isn't it? And most of the time, everybody will struggle with this control of temperature. Instead of that, if they put a temperature, a comparator, and a feedback adjuster and adjustment. So here in the reference, you can quote, okay, I want the temperature of water to be 40 degrees. That's all. That is what this automation is all about. I want temperature for shower today. I want it at 40 degrees, just like what we are doing it in our washing machines. We are doing like that. So it will adjust how much hot water it has to give. It will measure the temperature of the hot water. It will measure the temperature of the cold water. It starts to mix it, and after mixing, it will find out the temperature, and it will do the adjustment of its own, so that finally, when the water comes out, will be the same as that of your reference temperature. What is your reference temperature? We have put it at, say, for example, if it is a 50 degrees centigrade, and that will take it as a 50 degrees centigrade, and the output also will come like that. So it is all possible without automatic control. So what are the disciplines involved? So this is the future. But my point is, some of us used to discuss where this mechanical engineering field is heading towards. We are heading towards automation. I think you and I cannot shy away from that. We are heading towards automation. There is nobody, no point we can stop it. So in our curriculum, recently, yesterday, actually, the college which I am working, they are planning to go for autonomous. So they asked for the curriculum. Curriculum has to be designed. Then once the curriculum has been designed, then we have to go for a course design. Every course has to be designed. So I was in that academic council and other things to suggest what is the curriculum we needed for mechanical. And as I was discussing, this automation is going to have a huge impact on mechanical engineering. So the students or the curriculum should include more of electrical, more of control systems, more of electronics, more of computer sciences and other things. Otherwise, we will become obsolete. I'll give some more examples for that. So what is the discipline involved in automation is, of course, mechanical. You cannot neglect it because all actuators are mechanical. All actuators are mechanical. Any sensors, it has to start with mechanical. Then it can be transformed from that to another forms. But starting sensors has to be mechanical, most of the cases. And actuators are mechanical. And that is why when the actuator comes, it has we need to study much on the hydraulics. If you look at our mechanical curriculum right now, we study very less on hydraulics. And of course, hydraulics and pneumatics we are studying in mechatronics a little bit. But these things has to be more pneumatic, because most of the automations, physical operations are done by either pneumatic or hydraulic. If it is a light load related, it will go towards pneumatic, and if it is a heavy torque is involved or a heavy force is involved, we need to go for hydraulics. And of course, electrical we need to study because control is faster in electronics, electrical and electronics. So electrical and electronics basics, and above that we need to study and computer. These are inevitable in automation. These are the fields which are there in automatizations. I think you can look at it. I'll just play a video. I may not play it early, but let me try to play a little bit. Okay, so you can just have some idea. Sorry. I'll just play. Of course, audio you cannot see it. Audio you cannot hear it. I'll just pause and I'll just. I think recently I was in Delhi for a program. That time we were able to go to our Gurgaon Maruti manufacturing company. We went around that. Within a span of 23 minutes, like that, one car comes out. Starting from the sheets, plain sheet to fully furnished car, completely automation. Completely automation. There is not much humans are involved. Not much humans are involved. Most of the works has been taken up by the robotics, programmed robotics, CNC machines, smart weldings, and all things has become automation. You can have a glance here. This is a video, of course, I have taken it from the YouTube only, and it will be visible for all of you. But anyhow, you can go through it. It's all BMW. You can I'll just play here and there. As you can see, the sheet metals goes. That is how it goes. Cutting, pressing, and it will be shaped. And you can see it's all taken from one place to another by pneumatic arms, and the parts, everything will travel through the cranes, which is again automated. Most of the robotic arms will fix it everywhere. I think you can hardly see humans here and there. I think this video was made in such a way that you couldn't see any humans here. So how many arms are involved, you see? Otherwise, all the works were done earlier by the humans. Now you can see that only the truck drivers are moving here and there. And most of the skilled welders, or I'll say that ITA holders, diploma holders, it's all almost gone, And every small fixing, everything has been taken up by the automation system. Okay, you can see it. For a single part, how many arms are involved, you can see that. And everything is systematically programmed. Everything is systematically programmed. One sheet comes, where it is fixed, then the next vehicle will come, and it will does its job, and it will move on. And mostly the spot welding, you can see that all machines at a time, because otherwise you have to do one at a time. Here you can see simultaneously. Everything will do its work, stamping, whole drilling, everything will be done in a one go, and it will keep moving. So this is what you can see it in India. I have seen it. That's why I'm saying everywhere. Most of the automobile industries has become completely automated. So what we produce, what we teach, is very less as far as mechanical engineering is concerned. Very less what we teach to our students, and what is in our curriculum is not at all sufficient. Okay, so just for a glance only, and say from dipping into the galvanized bath, or for painting, everything is. You can see the spray painting. It's not, humans are not involved. It's all programmed so that the thickness of the paint will be very accurate. you don't miss it in certain areas. Humans means we may forget it, forget to do it in certain places. But you can see that in programming, it will keep moving, and the paint will not be wasted also, but it will be done uniformly throughout. So you can see every area from heating to treatment to all those things has been fully automized. The vehicle keep coming, and I think in the last some one or two areas only the humans are involved, like the last fittings, and here and there only you can see some of the humans that are there, and there is no need for the skilled laborers here. Okay, because they will train in such a way that as you could see here, the ladies are doing, and as the vehicles come out. So such things has happened. Okay, now as I said, our philosophy is what is the benefit of automation to the workers? What is the benefit of all these things? What is an impact of all these things on the workers? That's our perspective we need to see. Two perspectives we should see. One is, I think, if I wanted to summarize it, what we have seen is automation. You and I cannot stop it. Automation is already in globalized market. It's on the run. So how we adopt, how the mechanical engineering field is going to adapt. What is the changes you are going to do it in our curriculum, so that the students who are coming out of mechanical engineering, who are having a degree in mechanical engineering, what quality they will possess so that they can stand up on the job market. Okay. So this is one side. And if we look at the benefits of automatization includes, the first thing they say that labor saving, that is on the corporate mindset point of view. There's so many labors, as you could see that videos, hardly you could see humans there. Maybe at the last end only it is there. Of course, they can automate that also possible. Okay, hardly humans are at the very few humans are involved, and they say a huge saving in electricity, materials, and above all, the quality improvement, accuracy, precision. Can we deny any of these things? You and I cannot deny it. It's all true, isn't it? I used to have a Tata car. I had two Tata cars. And most of my friends in college, they say, hey, why you are going after Tata? Initially, I had Tata car, then I gave it, and again I purchased Tata car. Of course, we can say that it is the only Indian car in the market. It's the only Indian car in the market. All other things are, I think it's in collaboration with foreign technologies. If you look at Maruti is an Indian part and Suzuki is their part. I think you know that in two-wheelers, Hero Honda ruled the entire two-wheeler market, isn't it? Because Hero is Indian, Honda is foreign. Because earlier, once they introduced globalization with Rajiv Gandhi and then Manmohan Singh and other peoples, of course, when P.V. Narasimha was there, when Manmohan was the finance minister in 1990s, he introduced this globalization, and that time they had a hold on it. As such, foreign companies cannot establish themselves in India. They have to have at least, they can maximum have 49% share on them. 51% has to be with the Indians. That is why you can see Hero Honda. Hero is the Indian counterpart, and Honda is a Japanese counterpart. Then you can see TVS Suzuki. TVS is Indian and Suzuki is foreign. So everything, Maruti Suzuki, of course, Maruti Suzuki has not departed. Otherwise, you can see afterwards now, I think Hero has separated themselves. And now you see they are struggling. They are struggling. Honda has picked up the two-wheeler market of its own. This is everywhere. And in this competition, that's why I wanted to appreciate Tata. In this high competition, Ratan Tata, because he is not a businessman. He is a nation builder. He's not a businessman at all. He has some certain principles in his life, not like some of the Indian businessmen. I don't want to name anybody. Okay, you know it. So he still sustains his technology, but you can see that when you buy Tata cars, there will be vibrations will be there, and rusting will be there, and yeah, durability, quality. There is a lot of compromise. But now they have realized without quality they cannot survive. Now, if you look at the Altros and now the new model cars are coming in Tata, you can see the finish are excellent because they have adopted. They have adopted the new technologies. Now it is on par with other cars. If you look at Altros or what is the new one? I forgot its name. Nexon and other things. If it comes near and stands nearby any past one year like that, now you can see the quality of finish is excellent because they also have adapted to this automation technology. Without that, you cannot survive. So the benefit of automation is so high, so high. You cannot deny that. Now the philosophical question I am putting it as engineers, as doctoral degree holders, professors. When it is PhD, Doctor of Philosophy, we have to think in a wholesome way. You cannot go along the streams without looking at the impact of the society. The point is, I think Amartya Sen is rising. A Nobel laureate. He's from West Bengal. He's an economist. He got the Nobel Prize for his economical things. And Dr. Manmohan Singh is an economist. And they all put a question, do we need rapid growth or inclusive growth? This is a question we need to ask as Indians. Do we need to grow very rapidly, or we need to grow together, carrying 138 crores of people together? Shall we grow together? That is the point Amartya Sen is raising. Or we need to have a rapid growth so that at least some very, very few percentage of society will grow and others lag behind. That's what is happening now. There is a vast difference between the rich and the poor. The division is increasing day by day due to this automation, globalization, and other things. So that is one major concern we have to look at. Don't look at growth is very important. Of course, growth is important. We don't deny that. Do we need growth at the expense of the society? That is the question you and I has to ask. Do we need growth at the expense of the society, or do we need growth by inclusive growth? That's what the word I use is inclusive growth. Okay, inclusive growth includes. Okay, inclusive growth. We all grow together. So inclusive growth means there is a good quality education afforded to every individual of the society. Every children in the society is provided with good quality education. Right from the primary school onwards, every child is getting good education. Everyone is cared for. Health. Of course, we need infrastructure. We need infrastructure to connect the poor and poorest of the society. And we need to see that there is a uniform growth of the child. Okay, so government has to think in that line. But what is happening in India? Right now, we could see there is no safety for girls. There is no safety for girl child in our country. Yeah, we talk about growth, but the society is going down and down. It's a high time we have to think inclusively, globally in that way. So inclusive growth in the sense, basically education, health, and infrastructure to all. That is the one area we have to think about it. So beautiful things is you can read this report, World Happiness Report. It is just if you Google it, you will get I think around 200 pages booklet. They are doing it because why do we work? Why do we do all these things? Why do we do this webinar, workshop? Why do we take study and all of the things? Is life has limited number of hours to live on this earth. You and I has limited number of hours left on this earth to live. But while we live, we need to be happy, isn't it? To redefine growth, to put people's well-being. That is the way in which the World Happiness Report has been produced throughout the world. They say growth in the sense how people are happy about it. That is the way we have to define growth. I think if you look at here, I think you can see here, they have defined growth, redefine growth by to put people's well-being is very important. So that is the way they take it. So growth is, a nation has grown means the people in that nation are happy. That is the way they are to define growth. So once we think about automation and its impact, why we go for automation, its significance and everything, when you see in that way, ultimately, what it should be is people's well-being. So they have compiled a very big report, and you can see that Finland is the top country. More than 155 countries they have evaluated. More than 155 countries they have evaluated, and the Finland tops Denmark, Switzerland. These three countries are, one more is I think I forgot it. Okay, these 3 or 4 countries, they come every year in the top list. Maybe sometimes Finland will come or Switzerland will come, like that. So these countries, they are very happy. The people are very happy. So they don't define these nations based on the growth. So the factors which contribute for the happiness of human being is the country, the people are cared for. The people have freedom of expression. They have freedom of expression. The people are very generous. Whoever wants, they will contribute and they will help each other. So they have a very good society bonding. I think now everybody would have realized this last 7 months, you would have realized how difficult, limited is this online transactions. I'm just talking to a computer, hoping that you are all listening. If it has been physical, if I am there physically, how beautifully it would have been. Expressing, clearing your doubts, seeing one another, asking how are you, how about your family, children. When we ask like that, when we care, when we talk, when we have tea together, when we have lunch together, how beautiful it will be, isn't it? So this pandemic is putting a lot of mental agony into it, isn't it? So happiness depends upon the freedom, generosity, honesty. Now it is a big question. We have to define what is honesty, telling the truth. Now they are asking what is truth. Now even I think in Andhra today news it is going on. Even the Supreme Court judges has been questioned by none other than the Chief Minister himself. He's such a authoritative person is the chief minister, and he is questioning the Supreme Court judge, and the Chief Justice of India is really troubled. He has to do something because the Supreme Court is the one to see things are right, and the Chief Minister is charging. He is having so much of land without legal things. Charges are framed like that. We live in a country where the honesty is at question marks. Health is very important, income and good governance. If the governance is very good, I think we'll be very happy about it. We'll be joyful about it. Is it not? We expect good governance, good income, health, honest, generous, freedom, caring. These are all the things which defines the happiness of person. So why I am talking about all these things is it automation and its impact? That's the topic. I'm not debating. You have to look at in that perspective. We need to go towards automations. We cannot come out of it. One of the authors this year, 2020, happiness indexing of happiness of the world, he said the happiest countries are those where people feel a sense of belonging. The happiest countries are the people who feel the sense of belonging, where they trust and enjoy each other. And the shared institutions. They trust the institutions. They enjoy the company of each other. And there is also a lot of resilience is there. Because there is a shared trust is there. Even though there are burdens and hardship are there, and as a society, they can build it on. So that is one of the important aspects he has pointed out. You may be asking where we are, India. I think each one of us has to read this report. Of course, it is a very big report, around a 200 pages report is there. We are at a decimal position, very sad position. That is how it has been reported. We are at dismal 144th position out of 156 countries. I think we are very bad at it. So where we are heading as a country, we have to look at it. When you look at, sometimes always we say, what about my neighbor? My neighbor, Pakistan is faring well. They are at 56th position. They are faring well. If you look at the top countries, I think I'm not going to put it all together because they have evaluated for the 3 years. From 17, 18, and 19, they have compiled together. And you can see that Finland, Denmark, Switzerland, Iceland, Norway, Netherlands, Sweden, it's all coming up. They are occupying the top 10 positions. And we are very, very pathetic. We are very, very pathetic in the sense. I have to say it is very pathetic because most of the very poor countries like Ethiopia, Sri Lanka, Uganda, they are all faring well than us. The happiness index. The happiness index. Okay. One great example. This was a study specifically done for China in 2017, World Happiness, the team. They have done a study of China for 15 years. It's not one or 2 year study. It's a 15-year data study because, as I said, in 1990, the globalization started. And we also, of course, economically, we started growing. There is no doubt on that. Okay, like that. But of course, the China grew faster than us, so much faster than us. So the history of China, they studied for 25 years, 1990 to 2015, 25-year history of China they have studied. And you can see that this 25 years, the China's GDP has multiplied 5 times, unprecedented feat, they say. Nobody can expect that much growth, but China's GDP, gross domestic product, has multiplied 5 times, into 5 in 25 years. I think not even any country can imagine. But China The GDP has grown 5 times. And to put it for our understanding, virtually every urban household had, on average, a TV, air conditioner, washing machine, and refrigerator. Basic households. Everybody had it in 2012 itself. And they say that 9 in 10 had personal computers. Of course, an urban household. And 1 in 5 an automobile. Such was the growth of China's history. China's history was very high. But this is which I wanted to highlight it. Of course, I cannot share all these things because you may think I am deviating from the topic. Of course, I'm not deviating. Okay. In spite of all such growth, the well-being today is probably less than in 90s. This is one thing, a very strong statement. It is not my statement. It is that in book statement. They say the well-being of today people in China is less than that in 90s. They have grown like anything. In 1990, China was then a poor country, but the well-being of people in 1990 was much better than what they could achieve in 25 years. I'll show you here. There's a growth. You can see that this 25 years, 1990 to 2015, there is a 25-year growth history. You can see the GDP has grown, and especially when you look at from 2000 to 2005, this 5 years, the growth was so high. Let us see that. The GDP in 2000 to 2005 for China is so high. At the same time, the price, inflation, we talk about the price of household items has drastically come down. So it was very cheap. Everything is cheap. High economy, they had so much of money, and the products were very cheap. So the buying capacity has increased. That's the growth rate, really growth rate. The economy, they had plenty of money, and the inflation was very low, and most of the household items are very cheap. That is a trend you can see here. The economy is in this upper way, and rates are on the very lower side. This is, we are talking about from 2000 to 2005, you can see that. So in 2000 to 2005, everybody should have been happy. But they have studied the life satisfaction index, the happiness index they have studied for this 25 years, for the 25 years history of China. It has been, of course, if you study the report, then only you will understand. It has been done by 4 independent ways, not just one method. They have done it using 4 methods. Okay. They have done it in 4 methods. The happiness index, or satisfaction of life index they have studied. And they could see that from 1990, within 10 years, it has dropped, or in 15 years, it has dropped to the lowest level. If you look at the back, the GDP is at the peak, GDP at the peak, but the happiness index is at the lowest. But the government in China, they have realized that people are not happy. And then we need to realize. The government in China has realized that people are not happy. Our economy has boomed, no doubt, but the people well-being, or I'll say the inclusive growth of China is very poor. And they have taken so many measures from 2005 onwards. China government took so many measures for inclusive growth in 2005 because they have realized the people's happiness is at the lowest level and life is not satisfied in China. And they took so much of efforts and they could see some impact in 10 years, not 15 years. This inclusive growth they have realized, and they have moved for 20 years now, and slowly they are recovering. Slowly they are recovering, but still 1990 has not been reached. You could see that. What is an impact of automation in the society? You can see China is a good example. China is a good example. But the beautiful thing about China is they realized in 2005, so now 15 years, they are working towards inclusive growth for the past 15 years, and they could achieve a lot of milestones, great changes there in that. I will always say, do we live to work, we work to live? It's very important. What is the purpose of life? Somebody says, I live to work. That is very sad. We are working to live. I think sometimes we ask, we had lunch. We live to eat? No, no, no. We are eating so that we can live. That is a perspective change we need to have it in life. You cannot run after things. We have limited number of hours to live on this earth. Okay, so inclusive growth is the need of India. The poverty and inequality in India has to be reduced, has to be reduced. So inequality and social disparity, variations in society, I think we need to intervene and it has to be changed. So there are a lot of, okay, having said that, I think philosophically, I hope I have put you in the right perspective to see things very clearly. Because sometimes we forget to think the other side of the impact of benefits. The books will not tell, textbooks will not tell. They take it in one aspect, but we have to look at the society together. And that's why I say the inclusiveness, the wholesome growth of the society, we need to look for it. And what is the pros and cons of automation? We need to think about it. Advantages is there. As I said, it is inevitable. We need to go for that to mitigate the effect of labor shortage. Even though we can say that there are job market is going down, we face labor shortage. I think in South India we would have realized it, isn't it? During this pandemic, most of the North Indian laborers, they have gone to their home and we couldn't start the industries. I don't know where we are. Most of our South Indians, we couldn't start the industries. Because they say all the Biharis and Oriya people, UP people, they have gone. There we are. There we are. Then we, to reduce the effect of labor shortage, people are going towards automatizations. And another thing is you can see that skilled workers is a scarcity today. This fact you have to accept. The skilled workers are very rare to find out. Whatever may be the job, whatever may be the job. Because the impact of media, that is another area I think you have to look at it. The impact of media exploitation. I think they're saying before Geo era, after Geo era. The studies are coming up. Before Geo era and after Geo era. I think when we complete our PhD, I think 1 GB is so sufficient for a month. Now 1 GB is not sufficient for a day. We went for 1.5 GB, then we wanted to go for 2 GB, then you have to go for unlimited GB per day. The impact of media, and it takes too much of our time, and we have lost the knowledge. We have lost the knowledge. We are just running with the data and information. The information has to be digested to become knowledge. Is it happening? Is it happening? Anything you can say, hi Google, what about this? You can ask. It gives an answer and we keep going. Unless otherwise you and I study, understand, make it as a knowledge, it's all gone. Similarly, there is a deficit of skilled workers in every area. Look at a mason, look at a welder, look at a plumber, look at an electrician. They wanted to just fix it and go. The skill is missing. The skill is missing. How to deal with it? will go for automation because it eliminates the skilled workers. It kills the skilled workers. The first one target of automation is the skilled workers. Hey, you have skill. Oh, there is no need for that. We will take it from automation machine. Look at CNC machine. I think nobody can work with the lathe. It goes to CNC. It keeps going. It eliminates routine and boring works. Sometimes it's repetitive. Any work which is repetitive can be automated. That is a simple thing. Any work which is repetitive can be automated. That's how it goes. That's why I say it's any repeated task can be easily automated with this. And of course, this is very important area. The accuracy and repeatability is excellent in automation. Excellent in automation. When I say that, then there is no skilled workers, and the accuracy and repeatability of automation is incomparable. And that is why it goes for it. And not only that, the production volumes per day, how many pieces you can make it. When it made into automated is, I think it can, just like that, it can increase it. When you say there is a mask shortage, when there is a PPE kit shortage or other things, they all make it in automated machines. China is making in automated machines. They have modified it. They are sending it like this. So production rate, production volume can be easily varied up and down in case of automation. That is one of the advantages of automation. Look at these advantages are really genuine, really genuine. This will promote automation. I'm not against automation. Okay, of course I cannot against automations. When you look at the consequences or the drawbacks, of course, Stephen Hawking, I cannot quote him, but anyway, I'll say him because he's a physicist and he's was a well-honored person. He says automation and artificial intelligence have the capability to decimate the middle class job. Decimate means to kill, finish it off, to decimate the middle class job and displace the working class. It will displace the working class. So that is what he has said, and that is true. And loss of human jobs to machines, we could see everywhere. There are so much of loss of human jobs to the machines, as we could see that. An employee can perform a flexible variety of tasks, whereas a machine is limited. That is the limitations of machine. Human power is human, isn't it? That is too much. But unless otherwise we are so skilled enough, we cannot survive. And especially in mechanical engineering, the displacement of shop floor workers as a result of automation is higher unemployment rates in your region, everywhere. Not only in your region, in your area, in everywhere you could see a higher unemployment rates are there in most of the places because of this automation. A balanced approach is needed. This is my point. You need to have a balanced approach, flexibility, adaptability. Because as I said, the machines, artificial intelligence, automations, it is spreading very rapidly. So for example, in automobile, they are saying, even they have wanted to eliminate the drivers. Self-driving cars are going to come. It has already come in certain places. Driverless cars. Why they have to depend on a driver? They say that a driver, the work of a driver, it can be done by AI, artificial intelligence, software that can respond to customer service inquiries, and robots that can man assembly lines. So 1/3 of work activities could be displaced by 2030, they are saying. At least 30-35%, they will lose the job due to automation. So what is the future? So one example I just quote to say this impact, because they say, unless otherwise you adapt and change, we cannot survive. So to press this point, I will take One example is our ICE engines. ICE engines, we say that ICE engine is the heart of automobile, we say that, isn't it? I'll talk about that here. There is a change in leadership. We think that IT industry, earlier, I think some 20 years back, I still remember, nobody will study information technology. Now, I think everybody goes towards computer and information technology because they had taken up the leaderships now. Say, for example, how they have impacted this automobile industries. Automobile industries. If I put a quiz here today, which one is the heart of automobile? Engine? Yeah, as mechanical engineering, we say, yeah, engine is the heart of automobile. You and I cannot survive without a heart, so an automobile cannot survive without engine. But things are changing. Things are changing. They say that motor is the heart of the engine because they say by 2030 all small cars has to run on motors only. It has to be EV, electric vehicles alone. Electronic control unit is the heart of the automobile. Yeah, now things have changed. We have to say that way. Processor, electronic control unit. Telematic control unit are coming up, TCU. Telematic control units are coming up. So if a question is floated like this, which is the heart of the automobile, I think after 10 years you can say, I think that is the question itself is wrong. Engine is not at all there. People will say, engine is not at all there. Then where is the question? Which one is the heart of the automobile? So such situations can happen. Okay. So you can see the content of electronics and softwares in automobile has increased dramatically. Earlier, if you look at old Ambassador or Premier Padmini vehicles, hardly you can see electronics or software content in that cars. Nowadays, more than 1/3 of the component has become electronics and software. And you look at innovations. New cars are coming, new models are coming. And you look at what is the feature there, what is new in the new model. 90% of the things will be on the electronic space. Hardly 10% will be on the mechanical. But every new models, new features, they advertise every year. 2020 model, 2021 model, 2019 model, like that. So what is the difference between the older model and the newer version? Then 90% of new things will be from the electronic side. So that is a great change you can see, because TCU is new to you, isn't it? But it has come in Indian market also. Telematic features including semi-autonomous driving aids. So your vehicle will be completely 100%, it will be connected with the owners, companies. I have my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is working in Ford, Chennai. Ford Automobiles, Chennai. I asked him, hey, is it the Maraimalai Nagar plant is working or not? And then he said, I'm not sure, I'll check it out. Then I asked, you are working there in the Ford for more than 10 years, and what is an answer you're giving? Then he said, I'm not working for India, I'm working for North American countries. Oh, what is it? You're working for North American countries in Chennai? Yeah. What he is doing is, he is monitoring all the Ford cars running in North American countries. Not only he, his team. What the company does is, they all monitor every vehicles. They give lane assistance. It is all a smartphone connected. Now they say Alexa connected. They say where the parking is, what is the problem in the car, when to do a maintenance, when to do a correction, what is wrong with it. Every report then and there, it will go to the customer straight away. It is telematic control unit. It is 24/7, it is all controlled. And they, the company barge a closer relationship with the customer, because that is how they get the margins. because margins are they have reduced like anything. So they are trying to get cash by continuously through this telematic service and other things. Even the Maruti has introduced for Baleno. You can go for, you can opt for a telematic control unit so that your vehicle will be monitored 24/7, and whatever the problems comes or whatever the issue is there, you will be intimated and you can do it. So why I am saying all these things is, you see the automation in cars. They say the car of the future is EASY, EASCY, electrified, autonomous, shared, connected, and yearly updated. We do updation for Windows updation, we do for antivirus updation. That is what we are familiar with it, isn't it? But things are changing. Even the car has to be yearly updated. I still remember, I think this is again a personal story. The last car which I had is Indigo's ECS, Indigo ECS. And after 1 year, there was some smoke coming out in the exhaust, and I gave it to the service person. And I asked him to correct it. And the mechanic looked after it and he said in the evening, yeah, sir, we have corrected it. Now you can take your car and it's fine. Then I asked, what you did it? What repair you have done it? That mechanic was not able to answer it. He said something else. Then I said, no. I said there is a problem with the smoke, and what you did it, how you corrected that, what was the issue and how you rectified it. And he was not able to answer it. Then he said, then I said, I know there's a branch manager, Lenin is there, I know him personally, shall I ask him? Then he said, no, sir, I will go and find out and I'll tell you. Then he went in and then he came back. This is, I'm talking about some 7 years back, 6 years back at least. And that too with a Tata car, Tata Indian car. Why I'm saying, you'll understand. Then he said, sir, we have formatted the system. We have formatted the system and installed the software. You see the language in a workshop. They say that they have formatted the system and they have installed the software, so there will not be any problem. It's a true answer. Even the Tata 7 years back is having that much technology. What is the technology of 2020? It is unimaginable. It has changed a lot. So everything, so that's why, what is the heart of the engine? It is a telematic control unit. Or is it an electronic control unit? Is a microprocessor? Because everything is programmed. The timing of fuel injection, the pressure of fuel injection, and the circulation of cooling water, every inch of it, it has become automated. It has become automated. So the car of the future is going to be electrified because they have to look after the environment. Okay, there are a lot of issues out there. And how will you charge it? Of course, you have to produce electricity. How you produce electricity is important. If you use thermal, because India is producing electricity around 62% from thermal, which is a polluting power plant. So that is why they just pumped in towards solar. You can see that. Now we say that out of the installed capacity, around 24% is from renewable energy. And solar is taking the lead. But there are problems with solar. It is diffuse, cyclics, and often we cannot depend on that in spite of all these things, because storage is not there. Storage technology is a future technology they are developing. So the charging has to be done with solar, renewable. That is the idea. So whenever it is possible, on the way, on the move, or wherever, you try to tap the solar energy and for charging. So this is all there. And the car of the future is driverless vehicle. This is getting a strong push from major manufacturers. Already you can see that park assistants are there in most of the cars, parking assistants. Because in small areas, you have to take so much time of just forward and reverse, you have to take. I think they'll put it in parking assistant and they will get down. The car will go back forward and it will get parked exactly. This is all there nowadays itself in India itself. You can see. So the future is going to be driverless cars. And not only that, self-parking and adaptive cruise, as I talked about, camera technology, sensor technology, these all needed to move towards the driverless vehicles. Maps for unknown routes, guidance to travel conditions. Because even now, when you wanted to travel to an unknown place, you and I won't ask people. Just they put a Google map and they keep going. You look at auto drivers, you look at taxi drivers, you look at anybody. Everybody is using Google map. Everybody is, because they know the traffic signals. Where, okay, in this area there is a traffic jam. Is there? Let us take the other route. Even that itself is suggesting another routes. So things have changed. Things have changed. You and I need to adapt. Otherwise, we will become obsolete. So car of the future is artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural network, no human intervention, even in complex traffic situations. That's the way they are working. Earlier, we say that it is not possible. Nowadays, it has completely changed. Completely changed. It's all going to be possible. They look for car sharing facilities. Even now in Chennai and all, people don't want to buy cars. They use the car sharing facilities. That it has become cheaper, affordable, and it is convenient. There is no need to move around, and we have to park it. It'll be taken care. So they have offered car sharing facilities. Sharing concept will become economical viable, and with the introduction of driverless vehicle, this sharing is going to take a big move. Vehicle will come, you will get into it, it will drop, and it will keep going. So these are the things are going to come. So autonomous vehicle will make a lot of sense in automation. Not only in automations, that is this automation I am talking about, the vehicular traffic of cities. Cities. Most of the fleet managements. I think if you look at our Uber and other this vehicle management softwares, the moment you switch on, it will give, okay, there are 5 autos are there. There are 10 taxis are there here and there. Which one you want? If you pick up a taxi, it will take 5 minutes. If you pick up auto, it will come in 2 minutes. So you see how things have changed. How things have changed. So automation and computer is taking most of the things from our hands, and we need to adapt and keep moving. And otherwise, it is very difficult. How we are going to manage it? These all the things are happening so strongly, and you and I cannot stop it. So you need a balanced approach. Many of these displaced workers can be shifted fairly easily into similar occupation. So the need is train them, train the workers. As I was talking about curriculum, we need to change the curriculum. We need to introduce new things into it so that we can adopt this automation. So some will need retraining in a new occupation. I cannot say that I will not learn. We need to learn. We need to adopt new things. Otherwise, you and I cannot survive. Many need to learn new skills for new occupations. You and I had to learn new skills. Some of us need training. Some of us can be shifted. If you lose one job, we can be shifted to another jobs. So these are all the approach needed to manage automation so that more displacement can be minimized. We can minimize the displacement. So just like the videos, you can, if you look at any photographs of any industries, that is a photograph of that same picture, you hardly see human beings there. So such a way the automation is going on. Automated equipments is instead of labor, material handling, it's all in the conveyor belts. manufacturing systems are integrated, one will be coordinating the next, and there is no need for human interventions. It keeps going. Flexible manufacturing, that is possible in automations. You can increase the production rate or reduced volume. It's all possible. Quality, excellent for today's customers. I think without quality finish, they will look for in another company. You will lose market if you are not providing the quality things. Of course, you know that these things, computer integrated manufacturing, this is all going to take the upper hand in the days to come, and we need to look for it. So manual work system, it has become work machine system. Now it has become automated system. Okay, so in the automated systems, if you look at automated systems, there are fixed automation, programmable automation, and flexible automations. I'll just touch upon it, and I think I will finish in another 5 to 10 minutes. I'll hardly take another 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so keep listening. So in the automated system, you have a fixed automation, programmable automation, and flexible automations. Okay, so what is that? In fixed automation is, it can do only a particular kind of job. So it is automated such a way that you cannot have flexibility of automation. You cannot have new varieties. You cannot modify the systems. But at the same time, the fixed automation advantage is the production quantity is very high. But you cannot make a variety of things. Say, for example, cars and all are made like that. Now, even in Maruti, they have so many plants. One is in Gurgaon and another is in Haryana, Paneser. So what they do is particular type of car. Say, for example, Ciaz. Ciaz is made in Gurgaon. Okay, so they will have a fixed time. So the productivity will increase. But if in one plant they wanted to make 3-4 types of car, that is what we call it as the flexibility of automation. And the flexibility of automation is with the same thing, you can have varieties of products coming up. And in programmable automations, the volume is less, quantity is less, but you can have varieties because you can define, like what we say is 3D printers and like that. We can make components of our own. So that is the way things are there. So will robots, artificial intelligence. Another one which is people are talking about is IoT. Take your job, our job. Robotics and machine learning have improved productivity and enhanced the economies in many nations. The economy of many countries have increased basically because of this automated mission systems. So artificial intelligence has advanced into finance, transport, defense, energy, medicine, which I have not quoted here. So it is getting into many areas. Artificial intelligence is getting into many areas. So we need to learn Internet of Things is facilitated by high-speed networks and sensors being connected 24/7. It's all possible because of Internet of Things. Everything is connected with Internet. So we need, as mechanical engineers, let us not be rigid in our area. Let us not be rigid. Let us be flexible. Let us keep learning things. Many exposing concern that this is lead to vast increase in income inequality. So inclusive growth, which I was talking about, that is one of the concern area. You have to look for it. Mass of people will be effectively unemployable unless otherwise trained properly. That can lead to breakdown in social order, crimes and other things. If unemployment is there, you and I cannot live. The one good slogan this coronavirus has taught us is, you are not safe unless everybody is safe. That's a slogan it has created. You and I are not safe unless everybody around me is safe. If everybody around me is safe, I am also safe. That's a message of coronavirus. So let us care for the society as such, so there is no breakdown. Job losses are likely to be significant, and people should prepare for large-scale disruption. And we people have to anticipate, and we should prepare our society. How to prepare yourself for disruptions? Identify potential disruptions. I think there is nothing permanent now. There's no permanent job now. It all has become temporary. And we need to learn to live with that nature, adapt technology strategically. So, as I pointed out, AI, IoT, robotics. So, we need to adapt, plan to change for new technologies, make room for innovations. You should have innovative mindset. Don't rely on your routine works. We need to innovate. Plan for alternative features. We should have, and adaptability is the word. Value and recognize. Adaptability is very important. Start small, tolerate failure, learn from things. Don't leap into big things. Start small. There will be a lot of failures because permanent is not the word nowadays. It's all temporary, and we need to adapt and we need to learn. Monitoring is pressurizing us, is it not? Monitoring is pressurizing us. Everything is monitored. Every movement is monitored. What we are doing is monitored because of automation and the social order. CCTV camera is a must. Even the police station says everyone should have a CCTV camera. And there is intrusion into our privacy is there. Of course, it improves, it detects illegal activities are detected, improved workers, improved productivity, improved security, positive things are there, but we need to learn. Intelligent automation they are talking about, now it is a combination of artificial intelligence and process, then it becomes intelligent automation, intelligent process automation, they say. So the robotic process automation is combined with elements of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and then the process becomes intelligent process automation, not programmed automation. They are now moving towards the future is not programmed automation, it is intelligent process automation. So be adapted to all these changes. Thank you for listening with me for 1.5 hours.